Hey receivers, what are you doing? Hey everybody, welcome to Elite Athletes TV. I'm Mike Pulaski, former 11-year pro quarterback and quarterbacks coach here at EliteAthletesTV.com. Today, I want to talk about receivers knowing their assignment and understanding where they fit into a play. But first, if you dig football content, if you like learning about the game, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, that way you get notified every time we have new stuff coming out. Please give me a thumbs up if we're ready to talk about the receiver game, and leave me a comment down below because I'd love to hear from you. Lastly, of course, please make sure you share this video out. Other teammates, friends, family, we're trying to help as many young athletes as we can. That's why we're doing what we do here at Elite Athletes TV. So the more lives that we can improve through sports, the better. Now, let's talk about the receiver position. So often receivers, when they learn in an assignment-oriented fashion, meaning they understand their assignment. On this play, I run a go route. On this play, I run a slant. On this play, I run a stop. And that's the way, especially early on for receivers, the processing goes. But receivers need to start to think globally. They need to understand the whole play concept to know where they fit into the play. There's nothing more frustrating as a quarterback when you drop back, you've got the right play called, you've got the look that you're going for, you've been practicing it all week, and all of a sudden, when you come to hit your receiver, they're not in the route. Or even worse, another receiver that didn't understand his role in the play crowded them on a route and covered them up. It has blown so many routes and so many concepts over the history of football. And as a quarterback, it's incredibly frustrating because you are looking at the field globally, trying to figure out everything that's going on and work your way down from a read to a key to the right receiver. And when one of your receivers doesn't know their assignment or doesn't know where they stand in the play, then it takes you off your read and off your key and makes it so that you can't throw the ball. So what could have been a great play ends up being a flop, and it gets you in trouble as a quarterback. Let's drop a couple plays now, and we'll talk about what I mean and show you what you should think about as a wide receiver. So here's a play out of my Tampa Bay Buccaneers playbook, and this is what we called short 60 or 61 Z donut. And this is essentially 4 verts. And I did a video on 4 verts. I'll put a card up at the top of the screen at some point during this video, and you can check it out. But 4 vertical, really simply, you are trying to get a horizontal stretch on a single safety in the middle of the field. And so as a quarterback, as you drop back, you are reading this defender. If he breaks left, you know you're going to have this throw to the right. If he breaks right, you know you're going to have this throw to the left. And if they're both taken away for whatever reason, say a linebacker runs with it, then you know you're going to have this back on the check down. But what happens if your receiver doesn't understand his assignment? You can see here versus cover 2, the Z runs the bender. He breaks it off. He adjusts versus no center fielder. So what I just drew up was middle field close with that free safety. But if you have safeties on each hash, and this receiver is supposed to run the bender, and he doesn't do it, he continues to run up the hash, you're expecting him to break it off. Now all of a sudden as a quarterback, you're left holding the football here. When he breaks it off, now your game as a quarterback is to work the high-low game inside versus these backers. So as he breaks it off versus those 2 safeties, you're thinking as a quarterback, I'm going to find him in that first window, I'm going to find him in that second window, or I'm going to check down to this back. But let's say now this receiver gets 2 safeties up top, and he continues to run his vertical game. In this play, I'm expecting him to bend. Now, when he doesn't break it off, I'm left holding the rock, and these backers have no threat behind them in here. So if they end up sitting down, he's essentially just broken my play. Now, we always have come back on the backside, but versus cover 2, that's no good for me as a quarterback. So just one receiver doing the wrong thing versus cover 2 just blew this play for me, and I probably took a sack if I wasn't smart enough to get rid of the ball or run for it earlier. Now let's take a look at short 60 twin drag post. And the short in this name means a 5-step hitch for us here because 60 could be a 5 or a 7-step drop. So 5 steps plus a hitch for the quarterback. Our quick, our hot route is our wide drag or halfback flat. So Y on the drag or halfback on the flat. Let's just start there. They're the quick game if we get hot. So we're sliding this protection. It's a 60, which means we're sliding back to backside. If we were to get some kind of safety pressure on this side from the backside for weak, then our H on the flat would be our quick, our hot throw as a quarterback. But what if this safety comes down late and the H doesn't recognize it? He brings a blitz. We don't see it till late. We're expecting to have our hot throw, but he doesn't snap his head around. Now, as a quarterback, we can't throw it to him if he's not ready for the football, or if we do, it's just going to be an incomplete pass. But we've got heat right in our face. And so because he didn't understand his assignment, he didn't recognize on the cue that he was hot, now we're in trouble because as we drop and we see this hot coming, we're looking to get rid of this ball right now. But if he doesn't turn his head, if he doesn't understand that he is the hot receiver, the cue in this case on this route, then we're in trouble. Same thing goes for that Y side. Now, what if there is no blitz and we're looking to throw that post? Same halfback, making a lot of mistakes today, decides he's going to try to push this vertical. Well, the person that we're trying to read off here is this will linebacker in a cover 3 look. So if we have cover 3, we're reading off this flat defender. We're expecting that that route is going to win on the bang 8, and we're looking to hit 5 and rip it in there. If this will gets depth, we throw the flat. If he comes down and jumps that H, then we throw the post. But if our H gets too much depth on his route, he can literally let this will linebacker cover both guys. In that case, not understanding where he fit in the route. He is supposed to leverage this flat defender. Could be a will linebacker, could be a nickel safety. Whoever is that flat defender in the cover 3 look is the guy that he is supposed to leverage right now. With that drag, with that shoot route, he is supposed to right now get the attention of his will and either make him make a decision to cover that flat or get depth underneath the post. Either way, that guy loses if everybody runs their assignment. Now let's say the halfback runs the perfect route. He hits the 4x4 to the sideline. That's 4 yards off the sideline, 4 yards deep. But the X, instead of running that 4th outside step for his post, he runs it on his 3rd outside step, and he breaks early. As a quarterback, our drops are supposed to time out with the receiver's routes. So if he runs this short and gets forced in, and I see a lot of young receivers doing this. If he runs his route too short, now as he breaks into the middle, by the time we get back, hit our 5th step, and we're ready to throw, he's already behind the linebacker box. So even if this nickel safety or if this will linebacker, whoever that flat defender is, even if he jumps that halfback flat right now, if this receiver gets across the middle too quickly, now he's in the peg linebacker space or the bill linebacker, whatever you call him. And so he's covered himself by breaking it off too early and running his route before the quarterback is ready. So understanding that his move is going to be at 10 and his break is going to be at 12 is an essential aspect of this route. It's part of the concept, and you need to understand it because that's how we leverage this flat defender. One more for you here. We'll take a look at short 84, 85 Oki, as we already talked about. Short, 5-step drop. As a quarterback, you are going to plant and throw. So this is a timing drop, or what some guys are calling a rhythm drop. And you're expecting your receiver to go down, hit 10 yards, and run his out route. Well, let's start the same place we did on the last route. What if rather than hitting 10 yards, he now sticks that foot in the ground at 7 yards, cuts it up to 8, and runs his out short? We're not ready as a quarterback by that point to throw that out route. If they're playing cover 3 or cover 1 over the top of it, and he breaks his route short, now that gives that corner time to drive on the route. We may not recognize that as a quarterback. We stick that foot in the ground. We try to throw it anyway, and this corner undercuts the route, picks it, and takes it off, gets a pick 6. The quarterback would have thrown that interception, but the receiver would have caused it by running his route short. And so, again, timing, depth, and understanding what your role is in the route is super important, especially on timing throws. Now, our Y, as you can see, he runs 18 yards. The reason for that is, as a quarterback, you're dropping back, you're reading these outs first. So you pick a side, and you're going to throw that out. But if you don't like the out routes, say for some reason corner sits on it, squats, now as a quarterback, your eyes take you right back to the middle over the ball to the Y. He's at 18 yards. If he runs this at 20 instead of 18, now he may be late. As we come back, he's not there yet. We're not ready for it, and we don't have anywhere to go with the ball. Or, conversely, if he turns around and he runs this at 12, now these backers can close on him and shut that off. So, as we talked about before, the corner comes down, shuts down the out. Bill and Mike shut down this middle read. Now as a quarterback, your left, luckily, you would have these backs. But if for some reason the backs didn't get out, now you're in trouble and it's time to run. So as you can see, understanding your role in the route, and we could go through it play by play so that you could see exactly what you're supposed to do on every single route and why you're supposed to do it. When coaches tell you you have a mandatory inside release or mandatory outside release, or you're supposed to rub somebody as you're going by, there's a reason for all of that. As a receiver, what you should do is try to understand why you are doing what you are doing and see where you fit into the global picture of the route. That's what I call thinking globally. Do that, and I guarantee you're going to get more balls from your quarterback who appreciates you being in the right spot at the right time. Remember, if you love football content like learning about the game, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. That way you get notified every time we have new stuff. Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts on the game. And please, give me a thumbs up if you like talking about what we talked about here today and learning your position and assignment. My goal is to help you improve your football skills, give you a little quarterback training, and let you know how quarterbacks think in the pocket. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.